around the kings of today. What am I doing here, right? Like I didn't right? Like I didn't go to right? Like I didn't go to college. Like I didn't go to college. I'm a kid from Chicago. Right? Like I didn't go to college. Like I didn't go to. This country still has meritocracy at its core, and I think that is a testament to why this country is so great. That if you prove yourself, if you have the right work ethic, if you have a little grit and resolve, you can end up around the kings of today.
You've built an actually enormous thing. Congratulations. Seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something, in our own likeness and image. But no.
18-year-old Charlie Kirk.
And thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, founder of TPUSA, my dude.
Starting our campus tour tomorrow is that Israel is committing genocide. How do you respond to that, Ben?
There's literally no definition of genocide by which Israel is committing a genocide. Typically, a genocide involves the targeted killing of the vast majority of the population, or at least an attempt to do so. There has never been a genocide attempted in world history in which the food that was being shipped in was more than the daily caloric intake of the average American into the areas where you're supposedly attempting to genocide the population. The total population loss in the Gaza Strip thus far has been 3%. During the Holocaust, it was being shipped. There has never been a genocide attempted in world history in which the food that was being shipped in was more than the daily caloric intake of the average American into the areas where you're supposedly attempting to genocide the population. The total population loss in the Gaza Strip thus far has been 3%. During the Holocaust, just to take a reference, it was 50%. During Rwanda, it was significantly higher than 3%. You don't issue leaflet warnings to people. You don't go house to house in a genocide in an attempt to reduce civilian casualties.
Is Israel blocking humanitarian aid to Gazans?
You as Congress are complicit in the genocide in Gaza. You keep sending billions of dollars to Israel. Meanwhile, veterans are homeless and committing suicide with more budget cuts on the way. As a 17-year veteran and intelligence officer, I am watching you destroy the American values and jeopardize our national security. Israel is burning children alive. Israel is burning children alive. For 1 year, I have watched Israel burn children alive. You don't care about veterans. You don't care about American values. You are destroying this country. Shame on all of you. May God give you the moral courage. May God give you the moral courage to do the right thing. May God give you your heart. Please.
Have her removed from the building.
Apocalyptic-like scenes have emerged from Gaza, with hundreds of Palestinians seen scrambling for food as aid trucks entered through the Rafah crossing. Footage captured people climbing onto vehicles. The Israeli military initiated a pause in hostilities to allow humanitarian deliveries.
Stay away. It's kids. It's children. Children. Stay there.
No, don't do this, no.
Check your doors locked, manual lock as well, safety lock as well.
In Gaza say the Israeli Defense Forces killed 51 people when its tanks fired into a crowd trying to get food from aid trucks. Medics say around 200 people were also injured on a main road in Khan Yunis on Monday. Israel's military has confirmed they fired in the area and say they are investigating.
Northern Gaza has ended with more than 100 people killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Crowds of people swarmed the convoy after it passed through an Israeli military checkpoint. There was a crush as people tried to grab supplies. Some victims were trampled or run over. Then Israeli forces shot at some people they say posed a threat. Hundreds of people were injured. They were taken to hospitals which are already at breaking point. Palestinians are starving. Aid agencies have warned hunger is being used as a weapon of war, and some people say they've been eating animal feed to survive. This tragedy came on the same day Hamas officials revealed the death toll from the war has surpassed 30,000, with the majority of victims women and children.
At least 31 Palestinians were killed as they were trying to get to a humanitarian aid site in southern Gaza. This all happened in the pre-dawn hours of Sunday morning. And according to eyewitnesses on the ground, doctors at local hospitals, as well as the Palestinian Ministry of Health, Israeli gunfire was responsible for these deaths, as well as scores of additional injuries. Doctors at hospitals described a lot of head and chest wounds, bullet wounds, as a result of this attack. Now, the Israeli military, for its part, said that it, quote, did not fire at civilians while they were near or within the aid site. However, and this is interesting, an Israeli military source has acknowledged that Israeli troops fired what they described as warning shots at a location about 1 kilometer away from the aid distribution site in question. And that's notable because this attack, in which about 31 Palestinians were killed, took place at the Al-Alam roundabout, which is about 1 kilometer away from this aid distribution site. Eyewitness accounts from the ground are grisly, with some Palestinians describing crouching down in fear as bullets whizzed over their heads. Some individuals who tried to get up to run away were shot as they fled, according to eyewitnesses on the ground.
You gotta watch this.
The people of Gaza deserve better. I'm Chebin Faye, spokesperson for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and I'm here in Gaza today to give you another update about what's actually happening on the ground. This morning, I was at GHF distribution where we fed hungry, desperate people. And now I'm here again in Gaza in front of all of these UN aid trucks where aid is just sitting here out of reach of the people who need it most. But GHF was never designed and never supposed to solve this problem alone. And we cannot solve this problem alone. That's why, from the very beginning, we pushed hard for the UN to be here in Gaza. But the UN cannot get its food out. The UN cannot deliver this humanitarian aid to the people who need it most. And I'm not sure what the reason is. Whether it's looters, safety, or whether they're playing politics, it just doesn't matter. The people of Gaza deserve better.
You got
I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all.
Hi, sir, can I help you? Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Go, 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 go! Come on. Keep on! Hey, I'm going on. Give me up. I need fire extinguisher. They have it right here. It's coming. He said he has it.
Right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean that's, and I don't use that term lightly. Okay, they're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people out there. Okay, and honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. There is this idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty. That's morally crap. After you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, truce or a peace treaty, that's morally removing 2.5 million people out there, okay? And honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. Removing 2.5 million people out there, okay? Justice and revenge. They do. There is this idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty. That's morally crap. After you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right. So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF soldier. Right, the whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours?